Hi there, Scott Choppin checking in from Cedar Avenue in Long Beach. Just a quick test. You can see behind me we're wrapping the building, so we're moved on from our last video where we were showing the basically complete installation of the systems, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, sprinklers. Now we'll be moving into what I consider to be a dual phase, the exterior phase with the building wrap, stucco, windows, doors, and then the inside will start to have insulation and drywall. So we'll show you that in this video. A little bit exterior view shot of Cedar Avenue. You can see we're in the exterior wrap phase. So you've got your scaffolding up and you can see there, windows are installed. I'll get some close-ups of that. Vents. You know, roofing's on. You can see you got our edge metal on the roof. So this is moving along nicely. Just going to show you a little bit exterior view. So you see there, this is looking straight up a wall. You got your lath and wire. And then this is the ceiling, and this is actually true lath. See, it's like a sort of a chevron-shaped metal, sort of not quite sharp to the touch. But if you drug your hand over that, it definitely, you know, knock a hole in your knuckles. And then this is the wire. You see, they basically attach it here. This will be like a nail or a staple, and they go through and they seal that up. Joins into your edge metal. So this is a door edge metal. And then you can see the windows here actually have their own frame. And this is where the stucco dies into that. As you can sort of see, this is the typical stucco setup here. Very standard stuff. And then whenever you have a balcony, you'll have this sort of raised. See, it sort of has this profile where it curves up there. And then this matrix actually gets filled in with stucco. So they'll shoot it on. It's like a big spray gun with concrete coming out of it, and then that'll build up inside the wire, and wire basically holds it in. And then they'll come back with trowels and smooth it out. Scratch coat gets a grooved trowel, and then when they do the final integral color coat, which is the top coat, that'll have a color in it, and then that gets troweled into a finish. This will be like a 16-20 sand finish or 20-30 sand finish. So here we are at Cedar Avenue. We're showing some video of the scratch coat stucco on the building. Just want to give you guys a little sense of it. So here it is close up. You can see here's the wire that I showed you in the previous video where the wire didn't have any stucco in it. Now they put the first coat in it, right? And so this is just basically sprayed on, sort of like you see when they do gunite on a pool. It's basically the same sort of spray gun. It sprays a liquefied concrete, you know, cementitious mixture, and then it's basically integrated into the matrix of the wire. And then they call it a scratch coat for these lines because they basically just have a notch trowel. You can sort of see here's the ceiling, you know, of the front entry. That's the different type of wire screed that I showed you in the other video on the ceilings. The ceiling would usually be a different sort of metal. And then something to pay specific attention to are these corners. See if we can shoot a video here, but basically you see these corners are open, so they get the field is enclosed, the corner is open, and this will basically get filled in on the last two coats. So this is a scratch. First coat, second coat is brown. Third coat is the color, they call it an integral color, and those last two coats will start to fill in this corner. And in fact, the color coat will basically be the fine corner edge of this. It'll have a slightest little bit of rounding, but it'll be mostly squared off. And then you can see this, if you could show it to you here. It's a little bit hard to see in the video, but this actually has a sort of a concave to it. This is high, this is low, this is high, and that all gets filled in with the the brown and color coats. Just a little bit of video of the scaffolding system. This would be very typical in most of your residential projects. We use the scaffolding, we'll put it up, and then the guys will put in the windows, which I showed you in the previous video, but they'll use the scaffolding to install the windows, and that's usually supplied by the stucco contractor, but used by the window guys. A lot of times the windows are done by the framers. Sort of, you can see here, scratch coat. This will be, your pipes sticking out. They'll normally wrap them with this blue tape. This is I think that's an electrical line, possibly, probably for the water heater, gas line and that kind of stuff. If it's a big giant pipe, well, these guys wrapped it with tape, so that's good. Good stucco guy will usually wrap all your penetrations for pipes and that kind of stuff. There's the vent for the dryer. But this is a pretty typical setup. One of the things to notice on stucco, and it doesn't quite show, but you see this stuff on the ground, so as they spray it on, they trowel it, a lot of it falls off, and you'll get this ridge of, basically trash stucco material at the bottom, and so that adds up as you do the 3 coats. It starts to add up and get thick, and so one of the key things to do with your stucco subcontractors is make sure they're going to clean up their mess, and they'll come out, shovel this out, and clean it up, so when your landscape guys come to do their final grade, they don't have to rake out a bunch of stucco, overspray, and you can see it here, right? That's more recent. You can really see it here. So anyways, that's sort of it. Oh, here, I'll show you this. So basically, this is the guys mixing the stucco. So this is the machine to mix it up in, piles of sand. You got bags of concrete. Guys are putting plastic over their car because when they spray the stucco on, it has like a mist that comes off of it, or more chunky with the concrete, but that'll splatter onto your car. Like you can sort of see it right here. That's stucco splatter. And this is the pipe that they shoot it in. So this pipe's disconnected, but you can see how the stuff spooges out right here. That's the stucco as they mix in. It's really like a concrete. And then it gets sprayed on there. There's the bags of concrete. So I'm going to show you guys, this is actually the brown coat. I didn't see they were doing this. But you can see there's the scratch coat. And then on top of that, they'll lay the second layer they call the brown coat, which is a little bit smoother, although not like, truly smooth. In fact, the finish we're going to do on this project is called a 1620 sand finish, pretty standard, stucco finish, at least in California. But you can see now that this scratch coat then has the brown coat over it. And you'll note that there's a whole bunch more like extra stuff on the ground. And then it will be even more so when they do the color coat. Stucco's messy, but it's our best option for cost-effective exterior wrap in California. All right, so today we're going to talk about stucco. I'm going to show you this stucco in its final form. Unfortunately, I did not get any shots of the stucco going on, but you can sort of see behind me what this final color looks like. See the windows. These guys still got to come and clean up their stuff, get rid of all the plastic on the windows. But otherwise, we're moving on now to paint, which I'm going to show you a little bit of, and then cabinets. So here I'm going to show you a little bit of close-up of the stucco finish. I'm going to just show you a little bit of the stucco finish. This is a 1620 sand finish. See if we can get some shots here, sort of give you a close-up of that, what it looks like. And you get some variation in the surface. You'll see it's sort of like light and dark spots. That tends to be smoothed out a little bit as it does its final cure. Although, most stucco will have this sort of variation in it, and it's more observable depending on the color. The old joke is that, When does stucco crack? And the answer is always. You can sort of see what this looks like. I know one of the videos I shot before this column, you can sort of see this is the metal bead, the edge of that wire that was part of the lath. This is what a light looks like before it gets cleaned up and a light fixture put on there. This will show you a little view of how messy it gets when the stucco's done, but before it gets cleaned up. Looks like surface of the moon. Anyways, that's pretty typical. So the stucco guys will come back and get that cleaned up. You should make sure when you do your contracts for stucco that cleanup is part of the scope of work, because you can see there's a ton of it. It's just like, concrete rubble all over the place. All right, so just putting some closure to this tour. As I said at the beginning, this is exterior parallel to interior, where we sort of split up the two tasks on them. Basically cedar scaffolding, exterior wrap, and then we showed you the drywall. So once we get drywall in and stucco complete, then we'll be truly into the finish phase, start doing our finish electrical, plumbing, mechanical. It's mostly just cover plates and installing receptacles on the electrical. Mechanical would be the vent covers, and then plumbing, obviously setting fixtures, toilets, get into cabinets, countertops, that kind of thing. So that's it. Scott Choppin, check it out. Thanks so much.